Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horn. It's very late at night, which means I finally got a chance to make another video for you. Sorry this one's a bit late this week. It has been a bit of a busy one. It's been cool, but again, it's been really busy. At some point, I do need to work out some form of sleep pattern to replace the fragmented hellscape that it currently is. But anyway, at the weekend, I went to see LeBrock, these synthwave artists who actually, when you see them live, turn out to be a really good rock band. So this was a really good experience. It was Club Wolf opening and then LeBrock, and it's at my favourite venue, Rescue Rooms here in Nottingham, and it was a great night with my buddy Ollie. Caught up, we had wings and beer at Bunk beforehand, which was amazing, and then we went over to Rescue Rooms to enjoy some synthwavy 80s style rock goodness. Check out LeBrock live over at the Rescue Rooms. It was a really good experience. The bands were on fire. It was a really good crowd there. Really good experience. Met Sean from LeBrock afterwards. Had a great time. So hugely recommend seeing them. If you haven't checked them out, do check them out. Just put in LeBrock into YouTube, and that's LeBrock as in Kelly LeBrock from Woman in Red, Weird Science and other stuff. But yeah, if you put in LeBrock, I recommend tracks like Call Me and Wildest Dreams, stuff like that, to get you started on your journey of discovering these amazing people. It was a really good night, and long may live music continue. Tonight, on the other hand, I've been to the theatre of all things. Me. I write stuff like this, and I go to the theatre now and again, and it was to see a play directed by my friend Charlotte. It was called Mumsy, and it was a three-hander. That's 3 cast members, various setups, and it was so beautifully done. It was just a great night out. I need to get to the theatre more. I sometimes think it's not for me, but when there's things like that I've seen tonight, which is just such high quality, I can't help but go along to them. So that was really good. Yes, tonight I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things. First of all, of course, is this. Oh, for God's sake, that way. vhsatemybrain 2, The Revenge, is out now, and I'm really grateful to everyone that's been picking it up and checking it out, and for the messages and the few photos I've seen of it around the world at the moment. That is really cool, and thank you for getting me onto the British Film History bestsellers list. That was a nice thing to see. Yeah, granted, the bestsellers list for British Film History means that I'm about 80 bajillion in the overall Amazon charts, but seeing it on a bestsellers list at all was great. For something that I've done myself, I'm really grateful for that, so thank you ever so much. So there's some stuff I want to bring up tonight on some of the news stories I've found on the internet about VHS and cult films and stuff like that. And you know me, if I find some stuff about VHS online, I want to talk to you guys about it, because I kind of think that's my thing. That's not my sole remit, because I know there's a lot of people out there that do stuff on VHS tapes and cult movies and things like that, and I absolutely huge respect to them for doing so much work to keep these things preserved and keep them in people's awareness. But yeah, I found a few things that I want to talk about. First of all, some VHS news stories that I've found from recently and some from a little while ago that I'd missed before, and then we're going to take a look at some pieces I've found on sites talking about great VHS cover art. Now, VHS horror cover art, big box horror cover art, you can't beat it in my opinion. Love it. It's really evocative of that time, the whole rental era. It really brings it all back, a lot of those memories of the excitement of getting hold of these films. So first of all, the story that I've found to start us off is a current one. So before Terrified, Damien Leone's All Hallows Eve now available on VHS. Now, this is interesting. It's got Art the Clown there for the first time. The All Hallows Eve movie was where Art the Clown first showed up before the Terrifier films were made. It's an anthology movie, so it's very different to those Terrifier ones. But this has been getting a VHS release, which is really cool. And this is on. I'm guessing this has happened because the Terrifier 2 VHS tape that was on sale around America did so well for them. So I guess that's why All Hallows Eve is getting a release as well, although it doesn't feature art in it for the whole thing. Bear in mind it is an anthology. How Sonic Youth. See, GDPR. I was going to do the GDPR warning. Sonic Youth and the VHS tapes that introduced the creative potential of multimedia. So this was on the 1st of September. It's on faroutmagazine.co.uk. This is an interesting piece on how Sonic Youth used VHS in order to create a load of mixed media pieces. So that is very appealing to me. How they started to play with the medium, how they started to play with editing in order to see how far they could push the medium, which granted with VHS wasn't all that far, but it's still an interesting read, especially if you are into Sonic Youth or alternative rock and the crossover with indie filmmaking, the early 90s, that sort of thing. I do recommend that you give this a try. That's on faroutmagazine.co.uk. The next one is another bit of news, which is VHS Beyond is coming to Shudder. So I think this is the 7th VHS entitled anthology movie, and this one is in space, I believe, featuring the stories Stalk, Fur Babies, Live and Let Dive, Dream Girl, Stowaway, and a special presentation by Jay Cheel. Okay, I'm up for that. I'm game for that. I like the aesthetic that they go for with these films. The stories don't always land, but hey, nothing always lands all the time. So that's an interesting one to know about. Now, we've got here a selection of pages that are talking about the joy of VHS horror cover art. Now, this is a subject that's very dear to my heart. I've wrote about it extensively in the first VHS Ate My Brain, the revised edition of VHS Ate My Brain, the sequel to VHS Ate My Brain. I've written about it in the VHS Ate My Brain magazine column. I've even spoken about it on the VHS Ate My Brain podcast, which is back. Link to it down below. Go listen to it. Please, someone listen to it. Thanks to those that have so far. There'll be another episode of that this week. But yeah, do go and check it out. Subscribe below. So on this website, they're talking about some of their favorite horror covers. So let's have a look here. This is pophorror.com, and this is from, where is this from? October 20th, 2021. So this is going back a bit, but I haven't seen this page before. So they're talking about some horror artwork that affected them growing up, and I understand that. So we got Happy Birthday to Me. That was a good artwork. Well, they've not shown it there. The Zombie, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters, the original Lucio Fulci classic. Can't say anything. You can't say that it was original though. It's a Lucio Fulci classic, yeah, definitely. But it was made to be like an unofficial sequel to Day of the Dead, so Dawn of the Dead even. So yeah, but that is a cool poster. I used to have that poster in giant print of that on the back of my bedroom door in my first place I lived in on my own, which was nice because that replaced a stained straitjacket that I did have on the back of the door. There was a reason for it. It belonged to a musician, and an ex had wanted to have it, so I bought it off the musician. But it was, yeah, there was a straitjacket hanging off the back of my door, replaced by a Lucio Fulci poster. And as I say, the horror never affected me in the slightest. What else is on this list? Cujo. I'm not familiar with that Cujo art. That's a different Cujo art to what I'm familiar with. So can't really comment on that. It's a bit of a dull poster. Doesn't tell you what it's about. Doesn't give you a clue that it's about a demon dog. Oh well. Maniac. Maniac is a cool one, especially with the blue frame around it, which is a media. It's a media tape, previously Meta, and that whole sort of putting like a brightly coloured frame around the poster art. It's very 80s. It's very of its time. But yeah, that is a pretty gruesome cover that does tell you about the violence that's in it. Sick from 2003. Yes. So they're talking here underneath the ancient days of yore, before Netflix and other streaming services. You had to go out and rent or purchase a physical copy of a movie you want to watch. And to be honest, I wouldn't have bought that. I think that looks terrible. Let's have a look. What else? Extra. Extra, on the other hand, is completely insane. Absolute insanity. Extra. If you can get through it, I applaud you. Gourmet zombie chef from hell. Mm. We'll get into the SOV good stuff now. We get into shot on video stuff. Camp Motion Picture release in association with Swan Films. Gourmet zombie chef from hell. It's as cheap as it gets, and the cover is so cheesy. I love this cover. Almost bought a copy on eBay. I think someone was trying to annoy their partner or something because they were selling it for like £5, but I missed out on it. But yeah, this is crazy. This is one of the joys where the people putting out shot on video horror movies in the 80s and so on were really going all out to get people to notice them on the shelf. That's what you did. If you had lurid artwork, then you were going to get people drawn into it, and that's just how it worked back then. By the way, my voice is struggling a little bit tonight. It's because I was singing so much at the LeBrock show. So I agree with this one, Fright Night, although I do prefer Fright Night 2. This has an iconic piece of cover art, although that's a terrible picture of it. They could have at least found a better picture of it for this, but that is a really good cover. The painting of the vampire in the clouds behind the house is really cool. It's not just a house with like a spooky door and one light open or something, one light on or something like that. This is really, really cool. I'm totally with you on that. This is Cannibal Holocaust. So the proper one for Cannibal Holocaust, I don't think I can show on this channel. This is the Vipco version of it. So it's strong uncut version. It wasn't uncut. It was strong, but it wasn't uncut. And yeah, if you find that on DVD, it's not been digitized or remastered or anything. It's just been taken from VHS master. So yeah, we can't include that one. It's got to be the original rental one, the big box that got munching cannibal on it. But yeah, that's not great. Seed of Chucky. No. For God's sake. That's no. VHS cover art with scarred ass souls. No. Right. Get off that site. So on this one, we've got horror VHS covers, 31 cult sleeves for your creepy Halloween. Let's see what they've got on this list. So we've got a nice shot of a horror section there. So I'm always, if I see stuff like this, I want to go through the entire wall and see what they were doing, see what they were getting out there. But as it stands, we shall just scroll past that as much as it hurts to. Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall. This is so cool. Like, Chopping Mall, of course, great 80s horror movie. Some kids trapped in a shopping mall, security robots go nuts to start killing everyone. Nowhere in this movie does that shot occur. See, there's a robot hand, a big bag of bits of people, and yeah, instead the robots look like they do on the back of the thing there. Bit limited in the movement, but still amazing cover. TerrorVision, I love TerrorVision. I spoke about this on previous episodes and the podcast this week about TerrorVision, and it's just tacky heavy metal joy from the mid 80s, and I love it. Wraith. See, a lot of people really like the Wraith. I've seen it. It didn't grab me. I'm sorry about that. Had Charlie Sheen in it, Sherilyn Fenn, Nick Cassavetes, and Randy Quaid. It was not a bad film. Not a bad film, but not one that I am a huge fan of. But I do love the cover with the stylized logo and the iconic shot of the Wraith in the outfit there. Gate 2. There's some weird choices on this list. So I would have put Gate 1 with the the big hole opening up. Gate 2 does look more like a heavy metal album, which I'm there for. But the first one I felt much more iconic, with like the opening in the ground with the energy spewing out and the logo being pulled in and there's claws coming out. That one was very cool. Again, weird choice. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, one of the least well remembered and I think least well loved of the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels, because it wasn't Elm Street 1, it wasn't Elm Street 3, so it was that thing sandwiched between them like cheap sandwich meat. But for all its failures and for all its weirdness, it does sit well amongst them. and I think it's time I revisit that, to be honest. I think I may have a better opinion of it now. House, that is iconic. I remember seeing that on the rental shop walls, on the shelving units. Just the hand floating and ringing the bell. That's perfect. Tainted Blood, that's kind of generic, to be honest. Shocker, you're getting a bit random now, dudes. This is on indieground.net. Yeah, Shocker's fine. I wouldn't say it was particularly iconic. Supernaturals, not the actual Supernaturals, because that would be cool. Poltergeist 3. These aren't really grabbing me. Nightmare Beach, that's a cool cover. Evil Speak, there we go. There's one that's caught me. I love Evil Speak with Clint Howard in it. Neon Maniacs. Now there is one of my favourites. My copy had a different cover on it. Sorry, different logos, the same imagery, but a different like layout and different text on it. But that's cool. It's nice to see that. It has really no explanation, that movie. So monsters show up and kill people, but that's as far as they really went with the story. But love that. Killbots, cool cover. They Live, classic, iconic. Pumpkinhead, anything with Pumpkinhead on it, I automatically love. Demonoid, disappointing film. Despite its claims of up from the depths of hell comes the ultimate horror. No, it doesn't. Comes the ultimate mediocrity. Hellraiser, perfection. Friday the 13th final chapter, iconic, does the job. Jason Takes Manhattan, Friday the 13th part 8, I can't see that and take it seriously. No. Raging Fury, don't go down to the swamp tonight. I think I'll be able to manage that, to be honest. Maximum Overdrive? Huh? Lost Boys, fair enough. Christine? No. This is... What are you doing? Are you taking the mick? Primal Rage, cool cover. It's one of those cases where the cover is better than the movie. Halloween 2 just never really did it for me. From Beyond is great because From Beyond is great. Anything that can fit that much weirdness into 90 minutes, I am on a board for. The Nest, that's probably Rule 34 sort of image by now. Death Ship, iconic. The Outing. Look into that, because I don't really know what that is. Fright Night, again, fair enough, dude. But yeah, interesting piece. That's over at indieground.net, so do look that one up. So I've done a search here as well on VHS horror covers that aren't just, on blog posts like that. So we've got here some on Etsy. Now I looked at Etsy before for things, but it's cool to see that people are still making it and still offering these things. There's like bundles. That's the original Cannibal Holocaust cover. Bundles of tapes. There's tape themed things like rugs and stuff like that. There's lamps. There's a zine. That's interesting. So that's cool. But yeah, you get the idea. These things are still popular and they're still out there for people to buy. And I think we are seeing a bit of a resurgence of interest in physical media, just because I think people are getting really sick of streaming services. That's cool. So throwback 10 greatest horror VHS tape covers of all time. No more, no less, but all time. Let's see what you've got. Blood Diner. Okay, that's cool. Dead Alive. Let's say it's the best. They Live. Oh, excuse me, I told you it was late. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's not the VHS cover. That would be one of the best ones, in all honesty. So the Video Dead, Neon Maniacs, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they're in my top 3 cover art, and always will be. Freddy 2 again. There's the Video Dead. There's the bad boy. Look at that. Great movie, great film, released on straight to video, of course, straight to video. And that shot of the zombie coming out of the TV is in the movie, and shot proof of that, you can actually see it on the side of the cover there, the zombie emerging from the TV. It could never look like it does on the cover, but it is still very, very cool. So what else is on this list? Let's have a look. Return of the Living Dead, iconic Graham Hughes artwork, perfect. Chopping Mall, Fright Night again. These things pop up regularly because they are just great. That's the reason why. The best 80s horror VHS cover art. Let's see what's on this bad boy. We've got Nightmare on Elm Street, Frankenhooker, Morning Date. So Frankenhooker is amazing. Chopping Mall, Night of the Demons with Angela. Yes, love the Night of the Demons movies, even though they're all pretty much the same thing. Making Contact, Ghoulies. The cover's so good they had to put the image in the movie itself. It wasn't there previously. Class of Newcomb High, on board with that. Death Spa's a good one. From Beyond again. The Mutilator, not seen that one in this sort of list before. So these are really good. Do take a look around see if there's anything that particularly takes your interest. Research it deeper. If you want to buy a copy, go buy a copy somewhere. But if not, you can just pick like a series or something that you've enjoyed and go and enjoy looking up what went on with the tapes. Oh yes, it feels good. It feels so good. So I'm Andrew Horn. This is Planet Hex. It's usually about VHS tapes, and so this week has been about VHS tapes. The next one will probably go back to my reassessing the franchise stuff. Got a bunch of those videos coming up, and I am appearing at Tape Stock on the 5th of October to sign some books. So come along, bring copies of VHS At My Brain, VHS At My Brain 2. I will have a limited number of them there with me to sell as well. I'll be signing those. That's October 5th at the 80s Video Shop in Alfreton. It's Tape Stock 2, so please do check that out. What else can you check out? You can check out the new book, VHS At My Brain 2, The Revenge, currently out now on Amazon. Link below. That would be awesome. There's the new VHS At My Brain podcast as well, the second episode of which will be coming out very soon. And I look forward to chatting with some people on there very soon as well on future episodes. So that's going to be awesome as well. So in the meantime, watch your movies, enjoy your nostalgia, do a deep dive into your nostalgia, and be right back here for the next episode of Planet Hex.